Hi, this is Jim Cranston from 7 Every Minute and 7everyminute.com, the podcast and website about reimagining your life. Thanks for joining me today to talk about friendships. So let's get started. If you like what you hear today, please leave a like, tell your friends, send me a message. We all know what a friend is, right? Well, there are lots of different kinds of friends, of course, but hopefully you know what a good friend is. What kind of, it's kind of fun to think about that because we all have slightly different definitions of what makes a good friend. Though I think most of us would probably include something along the lines of it's someone you enjoy being around, you respect and they respect you, you have mutual interests, and you have at least some common goals. So this past weekend was Podfest show. It's down in Florida. And although I had planned to go at the last minute, I kind of had to cancel and back out. And I was really disappointed. I didn't care so much about the show. The show would have been fun, but I mostly wanted to see a friend who I've known through podcasting for a number of years. We'd been messaging for a couple of times over the course of the show. It started, excuse me, last Wednesday, but then unexpectedly on Saturday night, as he was driving home from the show, he called me and we ended up talking for nearly an hour while he was driving. It was a lot of fun. And, it was just a total delightful surprise. And what a difference it made to catch up on so many things, but it completely changed my mood from before he called. It turns out I'd really lifted his mood with one of the messages I had sent to him when we were messaging back and forth. So if you've ever gone to a trade show, no matter how much fun and how interesting it might be, they can be very demanding. If you've never been to one, imagine being totally extroverted, talking to anyone and everyone who goes by, hopefully not on a superficial basis, but on a more serious basis, and do that for a couple of days straight. Right? No matter how much you enjoy it, it's still a lot of work. And after a few days of this, you're just plain old tired. So when you get an upbeat message, it really perks you up. And when you get an upbeat call, it also really perks you up and just completely re energizes you. So here, these two dudes, both, pretty kind of tired out for complementary reasons. His for going to the show, mine for not going and being around those people, right? We managed to reinvigorate each other by simply making an effort to maintain our friendship and communicating with each other. So, how amazing is it that so much positive energy can come from something so simple? Just making a phone call, sending a message, and thinking about somebody. And I'd consider him a good friend. We don't see each other all the time, and we may not even talk for months, but we're always both crossing each other's minds, and we're always both interested in helping each other out when there's something we can do for each other. So that's kind of the real basis of a relationship that you can count on. So, what does this have to do with our regular theme of re envisionment and goal setting? We generally don't live in a vacuum, and usually we have to interact with the rest of the world and in some fashion to some degree. For a balanced life, I'd suggest that your vision and hence your goals really should probably include some space to maintain friendships and hopefully some good friends. Friends, like spouses, are a funny thing. They're something that you usually don't find by searching for them, but they often appear when you allow a place in your life for them to come in and fill that space. We have talked about maintaining a balance in life between working towards your goals while remaining mindful and aware of all the other aspects of life that surround you. Even if you're an introvert, friendship still plays a role in helping you to manage the stresses that always crop up and giving you some support and energy to help face life's uncertainties. Remember, just like helping others helps yourself to grow, nurturing a friendship, even in small ways, helps both sides of the friendship to grow. For me, one of the fun things about a nice friendship is it helps remind me of how others often see me. I can be pretty hard on myself. It's always kind of a wake up reminder when someone else gives me an unexpected compliment. This isn't trying to be self impressed or searching for compliments, but rather it's just a reminder that we sometimes tend to focus on all the things that we don't do and kind of forget that we really have made at least some progress in our lives. So that's it for tonight. A short one topic night. I planned to cover a couple of things, but decided that friendship and its role in our lives was important enough to stand alone. I know sometimes it may feel like we have no friends to speak of, but very often, just like forgetting that we have made progress in our own lives, we sometimes also forget that there are others who care for us and with whom we have a mutual vision. So that naturally leads us into our homework for tonight, always optional. is to think if you have any people that you would consider good friends. And if you do, that's really great. And then think of when the last time you spoke with them and when you might speak with them again. If you feel like you don't have any good friends right now, then think about some people who you enjoy being around or who you admire. And think of even one way that you could open up a conversation with them, perhaps try and start a friendship. Extra points if you take even a small action to reach out to that friend or potential friend, just to check in and see how you can make that friendship even a little bit longer. So that's it. And of course, as always, and he has run off the screen. Remember the war in the Ukraine, the war in the Mideast, so many things going on. There he is. UKR7.com, page of links, WCK.org, the World Central Kitchen. They help people in distress around the world. And as we talked about often, there's certainly enough distress going around that you could donate and volunteer and do a lot of things. And everybody's situation is different. You may not just be able to right now, and that's certainly understandable. But even just if you do a little thing, if you see somebody in the street and say, hey, hi, good morning, there's a lot of things you can do just to make the world a little bit nicer for whomever you come across. So, as always, thank you for stopping by. If you found something interesting or useful, please pass it along. Please hit that like button. If not, please remember to drop me a comment as to what you'd like to hear. Have a great week. Remember to live the life that you dreamed of, because that's the path to true contentment. Love and encouragement to everyone. See you next week on 7 Every Minute and 7everyminute.com. Thank you.